Welcome, deep divers. Today we're looking into a really fascinating piece of sci-fi history, something that almost vanished completely. Think back, if you can, to February 27th, 1985.
Oh yeah, significant date for fans.
Definitely. The BBC announced they were suspending Doctor Who. Just like that. Their longest-running sci-fi show. I mean, can you imagine the sheer panic?
It really was more than panic, wasn't it? It was a global outcry. Fans were livid. Letters poured into the BBC. There was this real anxiety, this feeling that maybe, just maybe, the Time Lord was done for good.
It really underscored the show's impact. And look, the show did eventually come back, 18 months later. But that gap, that year and a half, became this sort of blank space.
A missing season. Adventures we never got to see on TV.
Exactly. But that's where our deep dive gets really interesting today. We're pulling back the curtain on one of those lost stories, a script from that forgotten period, which is now actually available as a book for the first time.
Doctor Who, The Ultimate Evil by Wally K. Daly.
That's the one. So our mission today is to explore its pretty unique plot, the characters, some surprising ones, and, well, uncover the ultimate evil that's lurking just beneath this surface of apparent peace.
And by the end of this, you'll have a really good handle on this unique, almost lost piece of Doctor Who lore. It offers a fascinating look at power and peace and maybe a bit of paranoia, too.
Okay, so let's jump right into the adventure itself. It kicks off with a genuinely strange problem for the Doctor. You see, the TARDIS, his ship, it's working perfectly, like flawlessly. Every gadget, every system running without a single glitch. And for the Doctor, who, let's face it, spends most of his time fixing the thing.
He lives for the fixing.
Right. So he finds this perfect functionality, absolutely disastrous, leaves him with, and I quote, nothing at all to do.
It's such a brilliant flip, isn't it? Usually perfect tech is great news, but for the Doctor, it's practically an existential crisis. It shows you who he is, really. He thrives on chaos, on problems to solve.
So a perfectly running TARDIS actually removes his sense of purpose.
Yeah, exactly. A lack of problems is the problem for him. It's wonderfully ironic.
That's a great point. So the story sets up this idea right away. Even peace, or, the absence of problems, can be kind of dangerous for our hero. So how does Peri react? She's usually the practical one.
Oh, completely. Peri sees the Doctor moping about with nothing to fix and suggests the obvious solution. They need a holiday.
Makes sense.
Somewhere nice and peaceful. And that leads them to Tranquela. It's described as this peace-loving country where there has been no war for over 50 years.
50 years of peace.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
And it has a twin continent.
Yes, Ameliera. And the secret to this long peace is, well, it's pretty stark. They just never meet or communicate.
Right.
Total isolation between the two continents.
Okay. That immediately raises a flag for me.
Yeah.
Peace achieved only through total separation. Is that really peace or just avoiding conflict?
That's exactly the question the story makes you ask right from the start. It's not peace from understanding each other. It's peace by, well, building walls, essentially.
Yeah.
An engineered peace.
Which makes you wonder how stable it really is.
Precisely. And of course, the Doctor can't find peace even when he's looking for it. Trouble always finds him.
And trouble in this story has a name. Dwarf Mordant. He's our villain. An arms dealer, described as unscrupulous, Machiavellian.
A nasty piece of work. And he has a connection to the Doctor already. Years before, he gave the Doctor this gift, a crystal globe, looked like a harmless holiday ball.
But it wasn't harmless at all, was it?
Not remotely. It's actually a sophisticated spying device. The Doctor has no clue. And Mordant, he's got a plan already rolling. He's using a hidden gun positioned on this totally black planetoid.
Planetoid.
Yeah, very stealthy. And from there, he shoots this hate wave at Tranquela.
A hate wave? What does that do? It sounds awful.
It is. It's genuinely horrific. The wave seems to amplify any negative feelings, any latent aggression people have, and forces it out. It turns people violent instantly.
Oh, wow. So we see this happen.
Immediately. Two Tranquilan scientists, Ravlos and Corellia, suddenly attack each other right in their lab. And even worse, Locus, he's the son of the ruler, Abaton, he's overcome by it and pushes his own fiancée, Mariana, off a cliff.
Good grief. Just like that.
Just like that. It's brutal. Social bonds just shatter under this wave.
So how do the Tranquilans deal with this, if it keeps happening?
They have this really desperate measure called the chaining hours.
Chaining hours.
Yeah. During the times the hate wave typically strikes, everyone has to literally chain themselves up inside their homes.
Chain themselves up.
Yeah.
Stop hurting each other.
Exactly. Imagine that. Having to physically restrain yourself from attacking your family, your neighbors, it shows how broken their society has become, even with the supposed peace. They're living in constant fear of their own emotions.
That's incredibly bleak. So the Doctor and Peri touch down, expecting a nice beach holiday.
Yep, arrive on this beautiful beach, totally unaware.
And they walk right into one of these hate wave periods.
Bang! They get caught immediately. And that peaceful beach turns into chaos. Locus, who's obviously distraught about Mariana, sees Peri. In his hate-filled state, he mistakes her for Mariana.
Oh, no.
And leads this mob to try and stone Peri to death. It's a pretty shocking welcome to Tranquela.
And what about the Doctor? Is he immune?
That's the critical thing. No, he's not. Remember that holiday ball Mordant gave him?
The spying device.
Well, when the Doctor touches it on arrival, it activates. It acts like a local transmitter for the hate wave, so the Doctor himself falls victim.
So the Doctor becomes violent, too.
He does. He ends up attacking Ravlos and Corellia in their lab, wielding shards of glass. It's terrifying to see him like that, completely out of control. Shows how powerful Mordant's weapon really is.
Wow. Corrupting even a Time Lord.
Yeah.
But there's a glimmer of hope, right? The scientists, Ravlos and Corellia.
Yes, amidst all this horror, they actually manage a breakthrough. They develop this experimental helmet, a deflector helmet.
But it works.
It does. It blocks the hate wave. They manage to get it onto the Doctor's head and snap. He's back to his normal self. Instantly clear-headed.
Okay, thank goodness for that. Just in time, I think.
It's definitely needed because the plot's getting thicker. We meet Escoval. He's Abaton's second-in-command, leader of the second family.
And he's got his own agenda.
Oh, absolutely. Purely political ambition. He wants power, wants his family to be the first family, and get this, he wants to break the 50-year truce with Ameliera and start a war.
Start a war. Why?
Apparently, war-making is the traditional role for his family. It's about reclaiming that status.
So his personal ambition lines up perfectly with Mordant wanting to stir up conflict for profit.
Exactly. Mordant provides the means, Escoval provides the motive within Tranquelan politics, and Escoval's methods are treacherous. He uses another piece of Mordant's tech, a hypnogun.
A hypnogun?
Yeah, to manipulate guards, like this poor guy Schenkel. And later he uses it on Ravlos and Corellia, too, after destroying their lab.
And this manipulation works so well because of Tranquelan culture, right? Something about not being able to lie.
Precisely. It's a fascinating cultural detail. There's this cardinal rule for the ruling families. They physically cannot lie.
Cannot lie. At all.
Physically incapable of it, apparently, which makes Escoval's deception devastatingly effective. Abaton, the ruler, simply cannot conceive that another family member would deceive him or lie. He doesn't use direct lies. Escoval manipulates situations and uses the hypnogun.
So Abaton just trusts him implicitly.
Completely. The whole society is built on like absolute trust within the families. When Escoval breaks that, even indirectly, he's not just being treacherous, he's shattering the foundation of their world. Abaton's inability to even imagine deceit from within makes him incredibly vulnerable.
It's a system built on honesty that makes it uniquely susceptible to a specific kind of dishonesty.
Well put. And it leads to Locus and Peri getting locked up. Abaton imprisons them because Locus took Peri, an outlander, into the armory, which was unguarded because of Escoval's schemes. That's a capital offense there.
So they're in deep trouble. Meanwhile, the Doctor, now wearing the deflector helmet.
He's putting the pieces together. He realizes the crystal ball is Salakin Tech Mordant's people and connects it all back to Mordant orchestrating the chaos. Clarity for the Doctor, but everyone else is still caught in the web.
Okay, so the Doctor knows Mordant's behind it, and he knows there's this other continent, Ameliera. What's his next move?
He has to warn the Amelierans. Escoval wants war, Mordant wants war. So he takes the TARDIS over to their continent, which is described as being shrouded in mist.
And what's Ameliera like? Is it similar to Tranquela?
Oh, completely different. If Tranquela struggles with chaining up their inner darkness, Ameliera tries to eliminate it entirely. They're obsessed with total purity.
Total purity. How do they manage that?
Through technology and ideology. They have this massive central computer that basically runs their society and enforces purity standards, and citizens wear interceptors.
Interceptors?
Yeah, like glass-domed helmets that supposedly filter out all evil thoughts or influences. They see the Doctor arrive, and their immediate reaction is that he's unclean, a thing.
Seriously? They call him a thing?
Yep. He's subjected to electric shocks during what they call a trial for life. It's this very sterile, controlled, almost terrifying kind of utopia.
So how do they react to the warning about Tranquela?
Not well. Their leader consults the central computer, which processes the situation. Bang on the hate wave incidents, which they interpret as attacks, they decide Tranquela must be destroyed. They see the Tranquilans as inherently disgusting for having these violent impulses.
Wow. So much for peace and purity. They jump straight to annihilation.
It really shows the dark side of that kind of enforced goodness, doesn't it? It's rigid and tolerant. It's less about understanding and more about eliminating anything different or perceived as flawed. Is that really goodness or just control?
A very good question. And just when you think things can't escalate further.
Mordant throws another spanner in the works. He wants Escoval to win quickly on Tranquela, so he hits Ameliera with another wave. This time, a fear wave.
A fear wave? Oh, come on.
I know, right? And this wave doesn't just hit Ameliera, it affects the Tardies too, where the Doctor, Peri, and Lucas are. Lucas managed to escape his cell, by the way, very bravely.
Good for him. So what does the fear wave do to them?
It's pure psychological torture. The Doctor starts seeing the TARDIS console crawling with horrible creatures. Peri looks at the Doctor and sees him as this terrifying bogeyman, and Lucas just collapses into a fetal position, completely overwhelmed by terror.
That's horrifying. Weaponized fear.
It's Mordant playing on their deepest psychological vulnerabilities, a really nasty form of warfare attacking the mind itself. It makes you think about how fragile our perception of reality is.
But the Doctor, he fights through it.
He does. Even while gripped by intense fear, his mind is still working. He digs out a wave tracker. Peri calls it something from his junk cupboard and manages to trace the fear wave and the hate wave back to their source.
Which is Mordant's ship.
Exactly. Classic Doctor ingenuity, finding the tech solution even under extreme duress.
So that leads to the climax, everyone converging.
Pretty much. It all happens very fast. Back on Tranquela, Ravlos and Corellia shake off the hypnogun's effects and rush to warn Abaton about Escoval.
Okay.
Locus, meanwhile, confronts Escoval directly, knowing Escoval plans to kill Abaton.
Does he stop him?
Well, Abaton gets warned just in time. Apparently, the hypnogun's effect wore off his guards a bit slower, giving him a crucial warning. He manages to turn the tables and kill Escoval himself, so Escoval's coup fails.
Phew. Okay. And the Doctor, Peri, and Locus.
They arrive on Mordant's ship, ready for the final confrontation with the arms dealer himself.
So the Doctor confronts Mordant. How does he beat him? Does he blow up the emotion gun?
Now this is where it gets really interesting and maybe a bit controversial for the Doctor. He doesn't use violence. He uses a threat, a very specific, very Time Lord threat.
What kind of threat?
He invokes what the book calls the Time Lord's Golden Rule, which seems to be the threat of retroactive gene manipulation.
Gene manipulation? You mean
Like preventing Mordant from ever being born as he is, wiping him from history and perhaps replacing him with a version who wasn't, an evil arms dealer.
Whoa. That's heavy. The Doctor threatening to unbirth someone? That feels very undoctorish.
It does. It's quite extreme, isn't it? He rarely, if ever, resorts to that kind of direct interference with a personal timeline. It really highlights how desperate the situation is, how utterly evil he considers Mordant and his actions. It's the ultimate coercion.
And Mordant buys it.
He does. Apparently, Mordant's biggest pride is being Salaka's top salesman. His identity is tied up in that, the thought of being erased or changed.
Yeah.
That scares him more than anything. So, reluctantly, he caves.
And what does the Doctor make him do?
He forces Mordant to change the setting on his emotion gun from hate and fear to goodness and peace.
Huh. So Mordant has to fly around spreading good vibes.
Pretty much. A fitting punishment, maybe? Mordant leaves, presumably forced to continue spreading peace elsewhere, and Tranquela and Ameliera are bathed in this wave of goodness and peace. Their armories get sealed up again.
And things resolve personally, too.
Yes. Abaton and Locus reconcile, which is nice. But the real surprise is Mariana.
The fiancée Locus pushed off the cliff.
She's alive.
Yeah.
Turns out she has this innate teleportation ability. When she fell, she just instinctively thought of home and teleported to safety.
Oh, that's wonderful. So Locus didn't kill her after all.
Nope. They have a joyful reunion. So it's a surprisingly neat and mostly happy ending, considering all the darkness.
What a story. So, reflecting on this deep dive into the ultimate evil, what are the big takeaways?
Well, it really shows how fragile peace can be, especially when it's built on shaky foundations like isolation, like on Tranquela, or enforced purity, like on Ameliera. Hidden agendas, manufactured conflict, they can shatter things so easily.
And it gave us two very different and flawed models of society trying to deal with evil.
Exactly. Tranquela's desperate chaining hours versus Amelia's cold technological filtering with the central computer and interceptors. Neither feels truly healthy, do they? And then you have the doctor's approach, sometimes messy, sometimes extreme, like that final threat.
It definitely leaves you thinking. Which brings us to our final provocative thought for you, our listeners. Consider this. Ameliera aimed for total purity, using technology to filter out evil. But is that real goodness? Or is it just a very sophisticated, maybe even insidious form of control?
What does the story suggest about the evil and goodness that might be hidden inside all of us? And what's the actual price of achieving genuine peace, not just an absence of war?
Lots to chew on there. And maybe, just maybe, after exploring all that interplanetary angst and psychological warfare, a simple holiday on, say, Majorca doesn't sound quite so bad after all.
Might be a bit less stressful than Tranquela anyway.